Hey everyone, welcome to this lab. This lab is just about creating a VM in Azure, and then we connect to that. Once we have our VM ready and we connect to our VM, it depends if it's a Linux or a Windows computer. And how do you connect? You can do RDP and you can also do SSH, just in case if it's a Linux or Unix computer. And alright, this is a simple diagram of it. User, you are logging on to the portal and you create the VM, deploy the VM, you connect to the new server, and then we just destroy the lab. Simple guys, let's get started. And I hope you have your own dev environment. So I'm gonna just display what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to virtual machines. You have to obviously log into your portal first, and then very easy, create a Azure virtual machine. Subscription, you can choose any subscription you have. Right, let's get along. You can use whatever resource group you wanted to go to. And then you can name your virtual machine. I can name it as GeekCrowd1, and that's a tick, so it likes it. So yep. And then you can use your region also, so I'll select US West 2, and availability options, we don't actually need anything. And image, let's select Windows Server 2016 if I can find it. Yeah, Windows Server 2016 Gen 2, and then Azure Spot instance, we can leave that for now. You can read what it offers, but we're just gonna create a basic virtual machine just for the lab. Alright. So size, what you can do is it's up to you. We can go with the bare minimum, which is and you can go to all sizes. So I'll go with this one virtual CPU and almost 4 gigs of memory. And then username, we have to select the username of the machine. This is very important, just remember it. So I can just say geek1, and you can choose any password you want. I'll just choose whatever I want, and then confirm password. You have the public inbound port, so you have to allow, obviously you have to access your machine from outside, and then you have to allow RDP. So that's already selected by default. Alright, and that should be okay. And then I'll leave the licensing part with you, what you want to select, and it's up to you what type of license you want it to have. We'll go to the disks. So for the lab we don't need premium SSD, so I'll just go with standard hard disk. Or if you want, we can destroy this lab, so it doesn't matter actually. And then encryption type, just leave it as it is for now. and then I'll leave all these options with you. You can use whatever you want. If you want to attach a machine or attach a disk, you can. And next is networking. This is just a very fast way of illustrating how to create a virtual machine. Obviously you will not do that in production. You will have, there is planning behind every virtual machine, so you should be knowing what you're doing. Alright, so next is networking, and we'll leave the virtual network to default and subnet to the default one, public IP. It gave it a public IP also. And then network security group will make it basic, public inbound ports, and we are allowing RDP to be done to this machine. And this is always a good option to select if you're doing a lab. So delete public IP NIC, and VM is deleted. You can select that. You can select accelerated networking if you want for the faster network. And then load balancing, we don't need that for now, but obviously you can choose as Azure load balancer or an application gateway if you want to. Alright, next we go to the management. Again, we'll have to leave everything as default, and then you can enable boot diagnostics, and you can enable all sort of diagnostics, and then you can also do system assigned managed identity, which is you can read there that it needs Azure Key Vault, and then it stores that credentials in code. So it doesn't actually implement to our case. And then I'm leaving everything by default, but you can enable auto shutdown if you want to shut down the machine on a particular hour. And note that it will just shut down your machine, so it will not restart it on its own. So just be very careful with that if you're in a production VM. Yeah, so I'll just untick that, and then nothing here. We need everything should be just default, and we'll go to advanced. In advanced, there's nothing much to discuss about. So we have the ability to select extensions that we want to be deployed, and then if you go to an extension, you can, these are the extensions you can have on your machine, but we don't need that for now. And we can run scripts, and we can have custom data box against the VM, and then host groups are also there. And we'll also leave that as default. And then VM generation should be, there should be, I think we already selected VM Gen 2, and used to be here guys, but and then also we can give tags to your virtual machine, which is a name value pair. So it's up to you what you want to select, but we don't want any tags for now. And in the review page, it will show you the cost of the virtual machine. I think it shows per hour, but let's have a look. It will also warn us that this is an RDP open port, so your machine should be protected. So guys, looks like my password was wrong. I'll just reset it to some complex password. Alright. I'll create another video detailed about what are the options you can select while you're creating your Azure VM. So this video is just a plain Jane virtual machine creation. So we have a validation passed tick there, and it tells us the pricing of the machine per hour basis, and it's in USD, and it's warning us that it's open to the internet. And that's it. Just remember your virtual machine name and your username, which should be here somewhere. That's the one. And if you want, you can just create a screenshot or take a snapshot just in case. Alright, and then it's telling us about terms and conditions, and yeah, double check everything and then just hit create. And I'll meet you after a while because it will take this is dev environment. I'm not sure how much time it will take, so I'll just forward the video to when our VM is created, and I'll see you on the other end. Hi guys, just wanted to add that when it says deployment in progress, just make sure you notice what's happening. So it's creating a virtual machine, but it's also creating an NSG group, and it's creating a public IP address, and it's creating a VNet also, so, and a network interface, and obviously the IP address, one IP address will be public and one will be private. So just make sure you keep those points in mind. And I'll just I'm not sure why it says cancel there. I'll have to check that. And guys, while the machine is being created, I just wanted to show some points which I might have skipped. So I had to go back and change the Windows Server Data Center addition to this one. I'm not sure, in dev it wasn't taking any other image. Totally not sure why is that. And then obviously don't forget to select this option when you delete the machine. It should actually delete the public IP and the NIC with itself. And third thing is that there was an option to choose managed identities, and I hope you can Google that for more information. Basically, you don't have to use credentials, and everything is in a key vault. So you can go to this link and study more on that. And I'll just go back and wait for my VM to come up. It's still deployment in progress. And finally the VM comes up, and then it will show us the deployment details, and you can go through that. So it creates a public IP, NSG, virtual network interface, and the VM. So a lot of going on the back end. Lots going on. So and then you can just go to the resource to check if everything looks fine. It'll give you, I'll work on that status bar there, but yeah, you can see the virtual machine details in here: what CPU, what size, networking, disk, any other option which you selected while you were creating the virtual machine. And on the left pane you can see more options. And alright, let's see if we can connect to this virtual machine now. Alright, all we do now is connect, and then we are RDPing into the machine. It's a Windows Server machine, so definitely should have graphical user interface. And then we download the RDP file and we open the RDP file. And guys, I hope you will remember your credentials. So what you have to do is just enter your credentials in here. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've already entered my credentials, and then I'm gonna just, obviously it will give us a warning that this certificate is not trusted, so but we'll go ahead anyways. And your virtual machine should just come up. Alright, you can see the VM is up and you can do whatever you want with this VM now. Looks pretty good and healthy. Alright guys, that's all for this video. I'll see you in next short videos. I hope you like it, and then please don't forget to put the please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Even if you don't like it, I apologize, there are a lot of videos around there. Alright guys, our VM seems to be up and running, and then that's all for this video. I hope you like it, and then we'll see you in next short video for Azure.